dialed in
to Bucks and Brews, you might hear something
you can use.
like tips on your cash or tips on the suds.
You're gonna want to
The
use
smarts of these stuff.
because they know the brews.
And they know the Bucks, and they know they can't help the stubborn fucks.
So listen up, because shit's not funny.
And save yourself some
Beer money. Bucks
and brews.
Bucks and
Bucks
and
brews.
brews.
Bucks and Brews.
Welcome back to Bucks and Brews. So, Nick, we had one of our favorite episodes last week. We talked holiday savings.
Yeah. Let's say hopefully those tips, and it was funny because we went driving around to my niece's concert. It's an hour away, or sorry, my nephew's band concert, hour away. And my mom's, she didn't hear it. She's like, "Oh, lights over there, lights up." And my daughter's in the back doing the same thing. And I was like, "Yeah, this is what it is."
Yeah.
So
That's fun.
yeah.
You and I went on to have shitty weeks.
Oh yeah, dude. Mine's just fucking Merry Christmas, right? Like, I say rentals aren't going great, right? Everybody thinks it's the luxurious lifestyle of stuff, but no, I mean, I've had a lot of breakdowns of furnaces, boilers. I've had, things go wrong, pipes burst,
People
Just-
moving out, evictions.
yeah, all the above, right? So I'm coaching as well, and today, there's no energy, no anything. My kids just couldn't execute, right? And it is what it is. So, but we're here and I get to have fun. And speaking of fun, what did you just take a sip of?
So, I have a hard Mountain Dew Baja Blast. And then after that one's done, I have the hard Mountain Dew
What is that? I've never.
Live Wire.
Oh, I don't think I've had the orange one.
Yeah, the orange one's pretty good too. It's not Baja, but it's pretty good. What do you have, my friend?
I have the tried and the true, always the blue Bud Light. I just took my first sip.
Are you in a mood?
Yeah,
Me too.
Normally, like, right, I get on here and I go, man, this is what it is. And like now I took that one and I was like, that's not what I wanted. Right. Like, and that's unusual for our listeners that hear this. Like normally I'm like, oh, nice cold Bud Light, because you got the fridge back there and I grab it and it's great. But maybe it's because they haven't fucking sponsored us yet.
Maybe.
But I was looking for that win and it just didn't happen. But so as always, guys, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your family. We like to start this out by telling you what we're drinking and tell you a little bit about ourselves and what we deal with in a normal life, right?
Yeah, so I'm not going to get too much into it because police are involved.
Yeah.
But I did find out today that I'm Dawn's perverted husband.
Yeah. Say, jeez.
If you're going to cut me down,
Right.
wouldn't you find something, that A, might be a little more true, and B, might be embarrassing?
Right.
I don't know. Dawn's asshole husband, Dawn's alcoholic husband,
Something, right?
Dawn's deadbeat husband. I mean, something.
Right.
I'm a dude.
Yeah.
I act like a dude. Now, am I overly perverted? I don't think so.
No, I mean, no, right?
It's not like I grope. I don't grope people.
Yep.
I keep my hands to myself.
Yeah.
I don't tend to make lewd comments to people.
I say, and it blows my mind when I read or heard about it, I guess. I was like, I don't know, of all people, right? Like, no,
Yeah,
right?
it just seems
Like,
asinine.
right? Like, I totally would have been like, hey, if it exactly as you said, if it would have said David's asshole or Don's asshole of a husband, I would have been like, yep, that's David. Yep, you fucking nailed it. Like, all right, you got that one right. But like to pervert it, I was like, I don't know about that one there, bud. It was, but the problem and you and I both know how fucking hard it is to be a man.
Yeah.
And people are gonna fucking jump on me for this, right? But there are shitty ass men in this world and things like that give all men a bad name. And we coach girls' sports, right? You have a daughter, I have a daughter as well, right? Like, we generally have a passion to influence kids' lives, right? And people always try to throw, you just want to be around girls, and it's like, first of all, like, never in my life would I ever think of anything like that. And for me myself, right, older women, right? older fucking women.
I don't know how many times you said you wanted the Queen of England.
Right. Like that's what I'm saying, right? Like, bro, I'm going for that. Like, daddy wants the money.
See, I've always been within like 5 years of my age.
Yeah. So you guys do the whole like double your age minus 7 or
Yeah.
some shit. And but to me, it's just, even, and I can't even say the older I've gotten, the older I'm for or whatever it is. Like, no, say like I've always just been in that range of things, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I find a 70-year-old woman, what's the mom from Wedding Crashers?
Jane Seymour.
Yeah, right. Like that is what I find attractive, right? Like, yes, okay, I'm not afraid to admit that, right? Like, so yeah, but that happens to us.
Yeah.
I can't say to us, but to men in general, right? It's like there's always that thing that's there, and it's like, man, we are here to impact these lives because we know that boys, girls, all of it need a good male figure in their life. And yes, we are males that are good figures, right? Like,
being a male coach of predominantly teenage girls, because I don't coach anybody younger anymore.
yeah.
I always have to fight that, every time a coach gets caught sexually assaulting a player, I always have to fight why would a middle-aged guy want to coach young girls?
Right.
I can tell you, I had a young girl.
Yeah.
And she wanted to play softball, and I knew, I knew baseball because I was a baseball kid growing up, and I love baseball. And the game's not that different. If you can throw a baseball, you can throw a softball, you can learn the differences between the two sports, and they need coaches.
Yeah.
And my daughter wanted to get better, so I took an interest in learning the intricacies of softball to become a better coach for her.
Yep.
And I never, after having a daughter, I never really had any interest in boys. Like when I was a kid, I thought, yeah, I'll have sons someday and I'll teach them football and I'll be a football coach and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But once I had a daughter, and that's all I had.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, I don't really care about that anymore. I don't really want to be a football coach. I don't want to coach boys.
Yeah.
I'm great with the girls.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, what draws me to coaching women is they want to not only learn but succeed in what they're doing.
Oh yeah.
More so than boys. Like boys like to show off. That's not a girl thing. Girls want to succeed, and they want to succeed together.
And they have that drive because it's so built into them that they're only going to, most people only go to men's things and watch men's things. And I agree, like, but they're trying to prove every little bit and give effort, right?
Yeah.
I've coached baseball from little league all the way up to high school. I've coached softball with you for high school. I coached little league softball for a minute. My daughter's soccer team. I mean, I love to coach. I love to guide and be there. Right. And it's just it's hard for that to come out because it's like, you're constantly being attacked for something you didn't even do. Right. Like and it happens so much. It seems weird because granted I'm in the bowling industry, but it seems like every year there's always a coach that's getting fired for, the joke is, right, this isn't, this is high school bowling, this isn't blackjack, you don't get to hit on soft 17, right? Like, and there's always a coach, and it's just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, how stupid can you be? Like, and what is running through your mind? Like, I had one parent already who's like, hey, when we go to state, we're buying you a drink. And I was like, no, you're not. Let me be clear on this right away. Like,
I don't drink in front of the kids,
right.
period.
I will not be doing this. Like, yeah, okay, it's cool. Like, you've seen me in an outside event and I happen to be here. Like, no, we will not be that way, right?
No.
Like, my kids will see me as a good guidance and type of a thing. And I made the post. It's really hard to bowl on Friday nights where I bowl because my kids are coming into practice because it happens to be the same house. And I'm like, so I've cut back on
you had to tone it down a little bit.
Very much, right? Because it's like, hey, you now know who I am. Granted, everybody, but like, you now get to come watch, right? And I remember it last week. I threw a strike, and I just hear clapping, and it was like not my team, and I was like, look, and I was like, oh man, there's like 4 of my kids standing behind, like clapping. They're gonna strike, and I was like, shut up. I was like, gosh, you guys are killing me. So, you know, and you know, everything has its problems, right? If you're a woman, if you're a man, if you're African American, if you're Asian, we all have our things. But like, you know, to me, it's like, hey, there is this thing that you have to just be aware of, because most people always try to seek that type of a thing.
How many times have you been told you're not allowed to hug the kids?
Oh, 100,000, right? It's a side hug, you know. Why a handshake is shit ton, right? Like that is my term of endearment type thing, you know. But yeah, we have to go through training, right? Like you may side hug, right?
I went through it too, and I remember, you know, everything they said, and that had never been an issue for me. Like, if my kids wanted a hug, I gave them a hug, because you know, I coached the same girls for the most part growing up.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden I'm in high school, and I remember we had a player on the team whose grandparent had died. And I went to check on her, and she was on JV my first year. So I knew her, but I didn't know her.
Mm-hmm.
And I went over and I asked her how she was, and she literally just collapsed in my arms. Right. And okay, what do I do? Do I just throw her on the ground?
Right.
I hugged her because she needed a fucking hug.
No.
And sometimes you do.
Well, and you know, I don't want to get into too much details. Nothing wrong. But I had a conversation with higher ups of things, you know, in the company I work for. And you know, they kind of even reminded like, hey, you know, if you're having conversation or whatever, because I told them, I was like, hey, we had conversations with our team, and you know, I was like, all 3 of my coaches are there, and they're like, good, make sure that, you know, there's always a witness, there's always something, because you never know what's going to get said. And I was like, that's why I do it. Like, we always get reminded, like, hey, you never go into a private area, you never do it, like everything's wide open in the open, right? And so, hey, if I'm hugging, it's gonna be, you're gonna hug here, right? Like, I had a kid who had a mental breakdown kind of the same as yours, and I'm like, look, if there's anything I can do, like I'm here for you, right? Like, I email these kids because they're, you know, hey, I got this going on. All right, hey, I really hope everything gets better. If you need anything, reach out, right? Like, it's all written out, right? You know, you have to watch your back on every little bit of things.
Well, you know, I had a really rough Sunday.
Yeah.
All I want to do on Sundays is watch the Bears.
Yeah.
And I ended up.
Yeah, I didn't want to watch the Bears.
I did.
That's all I fucking watched.
I still have not watched the game. But I ended up having to work because of issues here.
Yeah.
And Jordan swung in for a few minutes, and I mean, he knew what was going on.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, Jordan, he's a mountain of a man, kind of like you. And he just literally just walked over to me and just threw his arms around me.
Right.
And I literally, you've watched Monsters Inc., right?
Oh yeah.
You know when Sully hugs
Mike and
Boo?
Oh yeah.
I felt like Boo in his arms. And I'm not that much smaller than Jordan.
Right.
I mean, he's taller than me, but I'm wider than him. And I literally felt like Boo in his arms. And I whispered to him, I'm like, Jordan, I love you. Because I really needed a hug. I was so angry the entire day and so pissed at my failures as a husband that I needed somebody to give me that.
We'll see. And you know, to be clear with the people, right? I know we're being vague on things, and we're not usually vague, but because of ongoing situations. But it wasn't that you were a failure as a husband, it's that you felt as a failure as a husband, right? Like, there's nothing that you could have done to change anything except for be here more type of a thing. But it's nothing you did wrong. Your wife doesn't think you did anything wrong. No, nothing like that. So when you say that, I guess I just want to be clear on that.
Well, and I mean, you know as well as I do, when you can't do everything for your family.
Oh, did you feel like a piece of shit?
You do. You just feel like an absolute piece of shit, and it weighs, especially on us. It weighs on our minds because, you know, we know what our wives need, and if we can't provide that exactly when they need that, we're failing.
Well, dude, I say, like, right now I feel like I'm failing, right? Because our friends had a kid and they finally invited us over type of a thing. And my wife's there with my daughter doing dinner. And I was like, well, I have a match and then I have to do this podcast because we love doing this. And this is a priority and it's been set. And it's like, but I should be there. Right. And it's really hard, right? Emotionally, because I do feel like I haven't been around. Right. You know, last night at my daughter's choir concert, right? So she's in 3rd grade, and you know, I watched the first song, and I get a fucking phone call, and you know, it wasn't my daughter singing at this time, right? And so I was like, "What's up?" And he's like, "Hey, got a second?" And I was like, "Shit!" So I run out of the fucking row there's only 2 people in the room, and they're pissed at me for getting fucking in front of them.
Right.
I'm like, shut the fuck up. So I run, and I have a boiler breakdown type thing, and he's like, oh, sorry, I thought you said 7:30, and I was like, no, 7, like, not a big deal, but like, what's up, And so we deal with that, but I'm just like, so I'm not even present for that type of a thing. And my wife texted me because she didn't see me, because I stood for a second outside of the row because you couldn't get back in unless you go around, and so then.
You don't want to interrupt everybody and make them move and shit. Yeah.
So then I went around and sat in the front row because we were in the second row, and I sat in the corner because a spot was open. And she texted me and she's like, "Hey, just to let you know, I don't know where you are, but your kid's up or whatever." And I was like, "I'm sitting in the front row to the right of you. Like, I'm here watching, so that way she knows I'm here." Like, my kid was my priority. I took 20 seconds of not her time to,
right,
because I knew it wasn't her time to sing, right? And the conversation lasted a minute and 30 seconds, right? Between the two phone calls I made, right? So I was back before the song even ended.
And you still feel shitty.
Oh, 100%.
But sometimes you have to deal with things that you don't necessarily want to deal with.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was me all weekend. I mean, Monday was an absolute shit show. I had to take my mom to a follow-up.
Oh, yeah.
For her eye doctor, and she ended up falling on the last step on the stairs and hit her head against the metal railing, and I showed you what she looked like.
Yeah.
I mean, she's all black and blue from hitting her face.
Yep.
Which of course makes me now feel like a shitty son. And I think I told you this, I might have mentioned this on an episode. I wasn't sure I was sending her home after the surgery. And Dawn got a little annoyed with me because there were plenty of times that I was like, well, Dawn will be fine at surgery, she'll be fine on her own after surgery, all this shit. And she's like, well, you never worried about me, I don't know why you're worried about your mom. And I'm like, listen, the woman's 71 years old. She broke her fucking hip last year. You want to be responsible for her falling the fuck down? So then, of course, I go pick her up Monday morning. It's 7 o'clock in the morning and she fucking fell down. So, of course, I'm a fucking failure again. And, I end up texting the picture and I said, this is exactly why I said, I don't know if she can go home alone.
Right.
And Dawn knows where I'm coming from. And it's not like she's unsympathetic, but at the same time, I guess she felt slighted because my mom can't be alone, but she could.
Right.
Dawn's surgery, she's in her 30s. My mother is 71.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to fucking do?
I'll say be there for both, right? And
yeah,
and it's hard, right? Because sometimes we put the burden on ourselves. Sometimes we do the wrong things, intending to do the right things. Dude, I don't know. I mean, granted, you texted me. You have great gifts for your wife, or we talked about it, I think, and. Here it is, the fucking 13th of December. I still have no idea what I'm getting my wife. I still have no idea. Like, I haven't had time to sit and think about it. I bought tickets today and I, was like, hey, yeah. I was like, hey, Merry Christmas. And she's like, yeah, sure. And I was like, oh, that's not what I'm fucking getting you. Like, that's next year, September. Okay. Like, consider it next year's gift. But like, I just, I'm taking Friday off of bowling. I texted my team and I was like, hey, I'm done, because I ran into a friend and he's like, let's drink Friday. And I was like, I do that voice just because he's Venezuelan and I always say, hey, let's drink Friday. And so, but I'm like, you know what? I can fucking use that. Like, yes, I will drink with you on Friday. Yeah. Like, and so I texted my team. I was like, hey, it's my turn to take time off. Like, I'm fucking doing it. And they're like, yep, go have fun. And I'll still go with them we go to a restaurant beforehand. I love it because part of my team, we go and we, I grab a beer, I grab some meatballs, and eat that real quick. It's genuine friendship, right? We shoot the shit and I like it a lot. So I make it a priority. But I'll still go try to do that and then I'll take off and we'll go and, we'll go and drink and it'll be just fucking great. And so I'm looking forward
some of those days.
Well, and the problem is I've been in the bowling alley every day except for Sunday for
a month.
Really close, right? Because like we've had tournaments every Saturday, we've had stuff, and it's like, and all of a sudden I realized I was like, I bowled Monday. I showed up. Okay, this is how my life has been. Like Monday, our lanes broke down at the tournament the match we were at.
Yep.
I texted my brother. I didn't start till 6:45 is my league start time, right? And I didn't get back into Wyoming over to there until they were in their 8th frame. Okay. Of the first game. So I missed the first game. Got myself. I still had to send scores. I had to do this. I had to do that. Get a Bud Light. And So I'm sitting there. I was like, all right, I'm ready for the second game. And I throw like shit. And then I threw like absolute shit the third game. And I just couldn't calm down. I couldn't get over what I
Yeah.
did. And I was like, all right, this isn't good for me in the sense of like, because bowling's supposed to be my getaway, my, my
Fun.
Yeah,
It's fun.
it's exactly what it's supposed to be. And I was like, all right, I am. I'm taking Friday off, boys. Like, this is what it is. So, we talked, kind of beforehand, and we enjoy doing some Reddit things.
We do.
So, we're gonna kind of jump back on that little bandwagon for a second. So, um, guys, I say, we share these stories because we want you to know who we are and what we deal with, and if we're like you or if people like us, right? We just want you to understand that we're normal humans that just do the right financial things most of the time, right? So, we do the wrong things once in a while, but everybody has to have that once in a while, and our job is to make sure it's not that bad of a once in a while.
Yeah.
Right? So, all right, this writer writes in, hello, I'm in quite a bit of big debt. For some background, I'm 29, American. I have a mother that has stage 4 cancer and has been in the hospital, bills and treatments I've had to pay on top of my own debt. With all that said, I'm $22,450 in debt. What is the best way to pay this off? And we've kind of hit on this before, but I like to reiterate. Currently have a city card with $6,674.99. I love this person. Love this person. They know the fucking pennies.
Yep.
With a credit limit of 7,000 at 26.24% interest.
Holy.
I have a Discovery card, $8,284.23 with a credit limit of 12,000 at 24.74%. I have a Chase at $7,490.78 with a credit limit of 7,500 at 27.74. It is really ugly and a lot, but it's what I've had to do to keep things going. Obviously, debt is bad. I'm bringing in $965 bi-weekly. I was lucky enough to get into a program that pays me while I work and pays me for schooling. Work and pay for my schooling. I'm desperate for some advice. Thoughts?
I don't have all the information I need. Is he paying rent? Is he paying a
It's
mortgage?
funny that you said he. I thought it was a she.
Okay.
So
He, she,
yeah.
Shim?
Say shim.
I need more information. I need to know what the monthly bills are. Because
Yeah.
in all honesty, if this is all you have monthly bill wise, you're putting everything on the credit cards,
Yeah.
then it's a different story than, okay, I make $1,900 and $1,700 of that is accounted for in all of my bills, and all I have is $200 left over.
Yep.
Because $200 is not going to do anything for this debt.
Correct.
So, I mean, my initial thoughts are we need to try and negotiate with the credit card companies, at least one of them, to lower the interest rate and maybe even freeze it.
Yep.
We need to get more income, obviously, whether that's
Can we stop real quick?
Sure.
And okay, what the last thing you just said?
Mhm.
Tell me about that.
which part?
Freezing.
Freezing it?
Yeah.
So I would like to see. So let's take the lowest credit.
Sure.
I don't remember
The
what it
lowest
was.
interest or the lowest amount?
The lowest amount. Let's just take the lowest amount, whatever it was.
$6,674.99.
Okay, let's call the credit card company and freeze that account, meaning you can't use it, period.
Okay.
And then see if they can freeze the interest for, let's say, a year.
Okay.
Either 0, or if they're not willing to do that, maybe 9%.
Mhm.
That way we're not spending 23.
26.24.
Okay. Right. So automatically, if you get it down to 9%, you're saving 17%.
So what you're telling me is you can call the credit card company and tell them you want to lower interest rate,
Absolutely. You can try to negotiate that interest rate.
which is huge. That's great knowledge for the listeners to have, right? That you can call and say, "Hey, I would like a lower credit interest," right?
And now, are they necessarily going to do it? No,
No.
but
It's worth a shot.
it's also in their best interest.
100%.
So if you decide to file bankruptcy,
Mhm.
and let's say you can file Chapter 13 and you still have to pay it back, 50% of 6,000 or whatever it is.
6,700. Let's just round it up.
Okay, so let's say it's 7,000.
Mhm.
50% is $3,500.
Mhm.
Whereas if they freeze the interest, let's just say they stop interest right now. There is no more interest on this. It's just $6,700.
Yep.
100% of $6,700 is $6,700.
Yep.
That's $3,200 more than they get at 50% of the bill.
Yep.
It's in their best interest to work with you and try to get their full amount.
Yep.
Now, will they necessarily do anything? No, but they might, because again, it's in their best interest. Their best interest is you paying everything that you owe them.
Yep. Let's say, and they know that they've made, I'm assuming this debt's been there for a while. It's not like you just did it all in one day. So they've made interest off of it. They've made the money up to this point. So, right. Yeah, they're horrible people, but like it is, again, as you said, in their best interest to get what they can out of you. So, and then my other suggestion is always, right, like you're approved for 714. So that's $30,000 worth of credit cards, right? Currently, because the credit limit is 7,075 and 12, which is about $3,000.
Yeah.
So you have decent credit apparently, because you're getting a decent open line. Go and try to get another 0% interest for a year, right? Roll it over to 0% interest cards, right? And prolong this for a year until you figure out what's going on with your mother's, stage 4 cancer. Try to push it as far as you can, kind of a thing.
There are some great balance transfer cards out there.
Yep.
That'll charge you 3%.
Mhm.
So, just throwing out numbers here, let's say $500 to transfer,
Mhm.
$7,000.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're spending $500,
Mhm.
but you're getting 0% for a year, maybe 18 months,
Right.
which buys you time.
Yep.
And at this point, time is what you need. You need time to figure out how to right the ship.
Yeah, I say, and you're in a job that's paying for school and stuff like that. But, so hopefully you're finishing schooling in the next year to 18 months, maybe. If not, we roll it again, but, until you get that job that's going to pay you a crap ton more, until we can generate more income, right? Or until we know what's happening with mom. I don't, there's a lot to go into it, and it's sad to say, but like, if mom has stage 4, we don't know how long it is until she passes or until she makes it through, right? And you're going to be paying these debts and things like that. So, I think that those are some decent tips for this person.
Yeah, I think that helps. I mean, nothing's going to solve any of this overnight,
right?
But at least gives you a roadmap to, hey, what can I do?
Yep.
What will help?
Let's say, and I have to
share that with me.
Yep.
So I have an interesting one.
Yeah.
How much should I contribute to my 401k? If my company puts in a 17% match.
Shut the fuck. Sorry. Holy
sorry.
shit.
If my company puts in 17% regardless of any match.
Okay.
I hope the title explains it well enough. My company puts 17% of whatever my paycheck is into my 401k, even if I elect to put nothing into it. Their money, not out of my paycheck.
Wow.
I've read that I should contribute up to 401k match and then go from there. Since there is no match, how should I break down my savings? I'll be making around 100,000 this year, up to 160 next year. I'm also saving for a house as well, so any extra money not going to bills, student loans, entertainment goes into a savings account for now.
That's amazing.
Where's that job?
Yeah, say, tell us what company this is so I can congratulate them, right?
Yeah.
Like, and actually, they might have other shitty things, but like, that's amazing, dude. We've never heard of any company ever just giving 17%.
My company, who is a huge employer in the state, the biggest, they match 50% up to 4.
Up to 4, yeah.
So their max is 2%.
Yep. And that say, so when it's going into 401k, if a company puts it in there, it doesn't affect you, right?
No.
So you're still allowed to put in the max amount of money of your own contributions.
So let me ask you this, because I know how we are when it comes to retirement accounts.
Yep.
Would you start pouring money into there or into a Roth?
So at $100,000 of income, I don't know how, did it say how old the person was?
I don't believe so. Nope.
So that's, that's going to be a higher income earner to me, right?
Mhm.
It's not, it's not in the 1% aspect of like, what is that now? 270,000 a year for a single person,
I think so. Yeah.
430 for a couple. But you're going to have a higher income, and if that money compiles, you're going to be very well off. So yes, right? Your 401k, you could put it into a Roth 401k. This one you'll have to pay taxes on because the company gives it to you. Put your own into a Roth. And I personally, if you can afford because at 100,000, and what can you contribute this year?
So here's possibly my favorite answer that somebody answered. You ready?
Yeah.
The alternative is to first max out a Roth or traditional IRA.
Yeah.
Once that's maxed out, return to increasing the 401k contributions up to the max. That's great advice.
Yeah. But you can contribute 23,000 right into your 401k,
Mhm.
403b as well. I don't know if you have kids. I don't know anything about that. But I would specifically say, I mean, if you think about it, right? They're putting in 17%. You put in 23% if you can afford it, right? And now you're sitting very well for retirement.
Absolutely.
I mean, that is absolutely huge. We can talk about retiring early. We could talk about not having to get to that point. But and then the thing is, they just haven't told us how much they have available to do. But so my suggestion: max out the 401k 23%. Do it in Roth. Start an IRA, which is 6,500 this year.
I believe so.
And max out that for that. Index funds, mutual funds, things like that. I would be investing like crazy. If they're giving me 17% for free, I'm still doubling down, right? So I would say my minimum is 17 because I'm gonna always match what they have. But if you want to diversify into different things and you don't want to be invested that much, that's fine. I understand. But do the bare minimum 6,500 into the Roth IRA because that's yours. And say, we're still looking for a contact at Betterment. So right, we'd love to have Betterment on here. And they have a thing with low fees, right? So you can do a IRA on there. You can do a 401k on Betterment as well.
I moved my IRAs to Betterment just because of the fees.
Yep. So, I think that's my suggestion is whatever you can afford at that point, like do it.
Yeah.
I say, next one, right? I can't pay my debt. I need help. Well, that's what we're here for.
Absolutely.
Well, I won't go into details because that's helpful. But right now I'm I don't know. So it's 700 period 000. So it's either 700,000 or they missed something. It's 700. But
I assume it's 700,000.
I don't know how I could manage to pay it. I'm thinking about starting a new game. Also, is there any way of deleting the debt? Oh, this is on the council or something. Please tell me I don't want to deal with this. Just mistakes
does he
made.
think Anonymous is going to come in and just wipe his debt clean?
Yeah, what? One person said start an OnlyFans.
Selfie pics.
Right. Say, say this might not be an actual one that we read. So I'm gonna go against that. But if you're 700,000 in debt and don't know how to get rid of it, let me know what you actually mean because I need some details.
Yeah, there's just not enough information.
Yeah. All right, this one looks amazing. This person looks like they've given me some fucking details, David.
Oh, love details.
All right. I feel like I'm never getting out of debt. Any advice? Well, yes, Bucks and Brews will gladly give you advice. Right now, my partner and I make almost 200,000 a year. We have 2 kids as well. Congrats. Last year, we got a HELOC in order to renovate our house. It was an extensive renovation, so amounted to $195,000.
Oh,
Holy fuckball.
that's a fucking house.
That's more than houses I've sold this year, and I fully renovated this fucking
Oh
thing.
my.
All right, this one's great. We have been putting payments on bi-weekly, but now it's only really hitting the interest and not the principal. Because of our expenses, I find that we end up using credit cards for things depending on what time it is in the month and what bills come out to. I know a lot of people are in the same situation, but I feel like I'm in an endless loop of racking up credit card debts, putting it on a line of credit, and keep repeating. Obviously, cutting down on expenses would be key, but I feel I'm never going to happen and starting to impact my mental health. Will it get any better? List of expenses. Thank you, person that wrote this. $618 monthly car payment,
Holy shit.
$2,700 a month for mortgage, $1,000 a month for groceries, $320 a month for cleaning lady. I want to get rid of her, but wife doesn't want to. Gas, $400 month, $200 a month for heating gas, $300 a month for water, $600 a month for property taxes, $415 monthly car and homeowners insurance, $250 a month for eating out so far this year, $200 a month for TV and internet, $140 a month for cell phones, $200 a month for RESP.
I don't know.
Okay. Why don't you look that up real quick? $200 a month for TFSA can be stopped. $25 for YouTube need to cut. $23 a month for Netflix need to cut. $840 a month for HELOC payment.
RESP is a registered education savings plan.
Okay.
What was that other acronym?
TFSA.
Is a tax-free savings account.
Okay.
These are Canadian people.
Oh, I say there we go. $400 a month at least for other line of credit payment. All right, and we have an edit.
Okay.
So I did this roughly off the top of my head. We make less than 200K and more like 190. Okay. We have two kids, 14 and 7. We went on a big vacation last year. We largely saved, but had vacations before 2017, 18, 19. We bought our current house 5 years ago, and the mortgage is up for renewal in December.
They bought an arm.
They did buy an arm. There was also a day-to-day thing like Shoppers, Amazon, groceries, not going crazy, etc. Edit again. I'm hoping this is the last edit. My wife feels like we can get out of this in a couple of ways: inherit money from her parents, sell the condo we own where my mom currently lives. Yeah,
Poor mom.
That's the fucking one right there. Move into your fucking. How much was the house? $2,700 a month plus fucking 400 or 600. So $2,700 a month for mortgage and plus 600 a month for property taxes.
Okay, but that could be a tiny house. Who knows?
Shut the fuck up. A tiny house for fucking $3,300 a month. No, shut the fuck up, David.
Maybe mom doesn't have room to stay there. Ring, ring.
Say, dude, Jesus criminy. Her parents aren't rich, but one owns a condo in North Ontario. So yes, it is Canada. Obviously help, but we can't bank on when that will happen. Her moving in isn't, and this is all caps, isn't an option. Just
there you
since
go.
the previous post of mine. Okay. But say, you know what? Her moving in isn't an option, but her getting her own place is a fucking option. Okay. Like, or you start charging rent if that's a thing. Quit being a Nick, right? Like, this is, I know you want to help, but you have to help yourself because right now you're failing yourself and you need to stop failing yourself.
They're paying over $600 for a fucking car.
$618.
Get rid of that motherfucking car.
And buy what?
A $2,000 beater.
Why?
$600 a month for a fucking car. You know why?
Well, not just $600 a month for car, $600 a month just for the car, and I don't know how much but it says $415 for month car and homeowners insurance, right? So like there's both. So let's give $200 and do $215 for the house. I don't know how to do this, but like insurance on a $615 car has got to be close to 200.
No,
So
easily.
that's let's just say 800. So I'll give you 200, or I'll give you $182. So
oh my.
right. And now we're gonna cut down on
Get rid of TV.
say your TV and internet, which was 200.
And I get that you got kids. There's free fucking TV out there. Use it.
Oh yeah, say antennas work great. Right? One time $200 fee, you put an antenna on your house and you're gonna have basic channels. But I get that you have to have internet. But $200 a month for TV and internet, that let's shop that around, right? Let's see if we
I
can
pay
find something.
$88 a month for internet. That's it.
$25.
Yeah.
That's what I pay, right? That's why I have internet.
Yeah.
And so and yeah,
Well, I work for
yours is working.
Yeah.
Yours is working, mine is, different, but there's cheaper options.
Yeah.
And if you're that set on it, I mean, you need to cut down on that.
And this is because I'm perverted.
Yeah.
We can get rid of the cleaning lady.
Yep.
Just tell your wife you're gonna get a little French maid's outfit. You'll run around and clean in a little French maid's outfit. And then she's happy. She's still got a cleaning lady, and then you're,
But $320 for the month for the cleaning lady. I mean, you have a cleaning lady. This is a big fucking house. Fine. You don't want the person to move in. The person doesn't need to move in, but they need to pay you rent, or you need to sell the fucking place and then define their own, right?
Yeah.
So you have two choices. You pick the fucking two choices, right? Because if that's what's going to save you, then do that. I want to get rid of it. My wife doesn't want to. Okay. So I want to be clear on this. As a man, you want to get rid of it. If you get rid of this becomes your responsibility to clean everything that
Correct.
she was cleaning. Okay.
Correct.
I want to be clear on this to this person. I said partner. I don't know if it's, whatever, but you need to figure out that this becomes your responsibility. So are you willing to take on all of the responsibility and make sure that it's done? If not, that is one of the last things in my life that I'm cutting out for 320, because I'd rather fucking cut my internet and cable and have my cleaning lady. I would rather cut my YouTube, which is only 25. Honestly, because it's 25 and 23 for YouTube and Netflix, I would cut one of the two.
Can we make a fun game out of this?
Yeah.
So you make a pros and cons list with your wife.
Yeah.
These are the things I have to have. These are the things you have to have.
Mm-hmm.
I will find a way to pay for these things. You find a way to pay for those things.
If people are like, oh, quit eating out, $250 a month. You know what?
That's eating out like 3 times.
Yeah.
Especially with a family of 4.
I don't want to cut that out necessarily too much for me. Cut back on what you're eating out, right? So sounds really stupid. Stop getting pop or beer or whatever when you go out. So
Get water.
I still go out to eat, but try to cut that back to $150. We've saved $100, right? Like I'm not a Dave Ramsey in the sense of like you can't go enjoy life, because you have a good income, but you gotta have a little sanity. And again, that sanity for $320 for the cleaner probably is your wife's sanity. And I don't want to push you into this divorce aspect of things. Now, could you maybe find a cheaper cleaner? That's a chance that you have to be willing to take on. Do I want something? Also, right? I mean, I don't know if you're teaching your kids to clean or not, but like they can step up. And so maybe
you got a 14-year-old,
right? Maybe you take it and only have that cleaner come once a week or whatever it is. If they're coming twice, there's something, right? But try to do the different things. And $400 a month for lines of credit. Let's get rid of that $400 a month as quick as possible.
Hey kids, do you like taking vacations?
Yep.
Yeah, mom and dad, we really do. Great. You're gonna have to start fucking cleaning around the house then, because we don't have money to pay for the cleaner and still take a vacation.
Yeah. You're making 190,000. Say you probably look back and say, hey, I probably shouldn't have done such a big fucking renovation, but you're there, you did it. And
well, I guess I have a question around that too. So you did this big renovation. Would it have just been cheaper to sell the place and get a different fucking place that you didn't have to renovate?
Right. And so that's a possibility.
What was the renovation for? Did you have like a cracked foundation and that had to be fixed, or did you just decide Or did you just decide, I don't like the way this looks, I want to make it look different?
197. That's dude, $195,000 of renovations. Let me let you know. That's 2 full house renovations for me. Like I'm talking roof, siding, full interior, countertops, cabinets, all like full renovations for a 4-bedroom, 1.5 bathroom house kind of a thing, right? Like, and so you can't go backwards in time, but it sounds, with $195,000 worth of renovations, how I do my things is that better bring me in 195 extra. But let's say it only brings you in half. Let's go with $200,000 extra, or sorry, $100,000. Yep. I don't know how long you've lived there. Your things coming up in 2024. Market's still pretty good. Maybe we think about selling the house, restarting, and we have a lower payment, right? It might suck, but it might be the best option for you, right? Now we're out of all of this debt.
Can you sell having a HELOC?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
It's a second mortgage. That's all it is. So
I'm just asking because
you pay off second and you pay off first at the same time, right? So again, if you put 195 in full renovations in your house, we would say that, and again, this is if you have worst case scenario, you're only getting the 195 back. So you're going to break, the house was worth $1 million. You put 195,000 into it. Now the houses should be worth
$1 million too. Yeah.
Right. But I would say $1.4 million, right? Because I want to double everything I put in.
Yep.
But let's say $1.2 million. You've paid, so I'd say $1.3 million. But like now you have $100,000. Go buy another place and don't do the renovation again until you guys are ready. Save yourself. Maybe downgrade a little bit. I don't know when you bought it. I don't know what your interest rates are, but maybe do that, right? Think about it, because if you're not willing to kick the mom out, if you're not willing to do the right thing for yourself, then you're gonna have to eat the bullet and buy yourself a smaller place and do all that, right? And when the mom asks why you guys moving to something smaller, say, well, because we're letting you live for fucking free.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion on this one, right? Or a couple of different opinions that you can do.
I have one right up your alley.
I love it.
Are there consequences to being an occupant instead of a leaseholder? I graduated college in the pandemic, so I moved from dorms to home and haven't left yet. I've never had a lease or utility bill in my name. My significant other moved out of state to a nice apartment complex. The complex offered to add me to their lease as either a co-holder or an occupant so that I can stay with them without risking their visitor policy. They live in a nice apartment complex in a different state. Are there any risks to being an occupant instead of a leaseholder? Will being an occupant still count for rental history and a landlord reference check if needed in the future? I work remote, so will I need to file taxes in their state? I don't plan to change my driver's license registration, voting registration, or anything like that. I'd probably split my time between home and the apartment 50-50. Are there any benefits to being a leaseholder I might not be thinking of?
So, if an eviction happens, it's not going to be necessarily in your name. It's just going to be all occupants, right? Because when we fill it out, it says, David and all others. And so, but when you go to rent your own place, you can still use that person as a reference, right? Like, hey, how were they as a tenant? I mean, honestly, you're going to be able to get the reference out of it. No, I say there's technically only negatives to be a leaseholder versus being an occupant, right? They still have to go through the eviction if they're going to get an occupant out, right? It just says your name and all other, but it wouldn't be all and all others. It'd just be straight your name because you are the occupant, right? You occupy the space. So no, there's nothing that you're really missing. You have all the same rights legally as a tenant. You're just an occupant at that point, right? Consider it a squatter aspect of things, because squatters have rights, which is stupid. But you're not anything crazy into that. So I don't think I don't think there's anything negative to just be an occupant, right? They're just and they're doing great. I love the people that are letting their landlord know that there's going to be another person there, right? So I get the negative is if they want to move, if they when they want to move, they get to choose to move. So that's the negative
Mm-hmm.
is you don't you don't get to stay if they move out. You have to move as well, or then you go through the eviction because you don't have any rights to the property in that
Right.
sense of things. Yeah, so it's just say to me, no, I mean, I wouldn't be concerned about it, right? There's nothing on my end that I can say, hey, you have to be this. But yeah, no, uh, sorry, and it's not a glorious answer, but yeah, I think you'll be just fine.
I got another one if you're still
Yeah,
looking.
please do. Sorry, I had to find one so I could share it with you.
That's fine. So insurance advice turning 26. This is up my alley.
Yeah,
I live in the US and I'm turning 26 next year, so I'll no longer be on my parents' insurance. Personally, I would prefer to work 2 part-time per diem jobs rather than 1 full-time regular job, as it would provide me with more diverse work and learning opportunities. If I do this, I would theoretically have to get a private insurance or ACA insurance. Would this be a huge financial mistake? My income's about $47,000 before tax. I live in Massachusetts. Thanks in advance. So I don't think it's a big mistake. I mean, obviously, a full-time job may pay for a portion of your insurance, but most jobs still only pay for a portion. You're still covering a decent amount of that. Many of the jobs have high deductibles, so you're not only paying a premium, but you're paying whatever that deductible is until, that is met, and then your co-insurance and copays kick in. So let's say you have a $4,000 deductible and you're paying $200 a month for your insurance.
yeah,
So you're paying that $200 every month. That's $2,600 a year. And until you pay $4,000 in medical, all of that first 4,000 is yours.
Yep.
And once you hit that 4,000, it's not like everything's free after that. Then your copays and your co-insurance kicks in. So if you have an 80% plan with a $40 copay, you go to the doctor, you pay $40. You go to the hospital, you pay 20%.
Yep.
So it's not like that just goes away either. So getting a plan off the ACA is really similar to having a plan through a job, but there are tax benefits to doing it depending on how much you make. How much that tax benefit may be if you make 47,000, I have no idea.
right.
But you can go on the healthcare.gov and they'll walk you through everything and give you exactly everything you need to know. So like I'm going to have to do that with Caitlin come March because she's going to be kicked off of her Healthy Michigan and have to get her own private insurance. And we're going to pick an ACA plan and go from there. So is it a dumb move? No, it's not. You weigh out what the differences may be. And honestly, if you don't have a full-time job, you're not going to know what they might pay.
Right.
I mean, Gentex was pretty generous.
Yeah,
weren't they?
They did really well. I think I only paid, I don't know, 40 a week or something like that, or 23, and then I added extra stuff like life insurance and things like that or whatever, right? Dental costs. I don't. It's been 3 years now, but I remember it being pretty low. And it grew every year type of thing, but I'll say max it was $40 for my whole family.
Well, I can tell you, I pay a lot, and I work for them.
Yeah. So yeah, and so I have a friend who just retired because he ended up with a tumor and this and that, and so he's like, no, I'm done. But he's still on Cobra, which so he just has to pay their portion, and he was paying 50, let's say, and now he's paying $850. So the company was paying $800 out of that, right? So he'll get on to the next thing shortly, but April I think he gets to go on to Medicare, Medicaid, whatever it is, and so that'll be good for him. But yeah, so shop around, you'll find what works best for you.
Absolutely.
So this one, I'm 22, I have a part-time job. I get about 20 hours a week at $14 an hour. I moved back in with my parents, no rent, expenses, but I do buy my own food and gas, just general life expenses. Any advice how to pay down that? 2 separate credit cards, one having 1,000 and the other having the 3,000. Some of my expenses besides groceries, I also go to to therapy for $240 a month and spend $30 a month for medication. The rest of my money goes towards trying to pay off the credit cards. I've had this debt for a while and it seems like it never goes down. So I have to do quick math. 20 times 14. Gosh, guys, normally I'm right on this, but today I'm just struggling. $280 weekly times that by 4.25 is $1,190. Let's say so 23% in taxes gets takes out, so times 0.67 or no, gosh, that'd be 30, right? So sorry, 1,190 times 0.77, that'd be 23% taxes. So my bring home is $916 a month. My expenses are $240 and $30 for medication, so minus 270, $646 an extra. So it if you're seeming like it's not getting paid off at $650 extra a month, you're eating out too much. You're eating too much. Like you buy your own food, like you're going out to. That's literally on the scenario you gave me. That is what's happening, right? A single person who's buying their own food. I mean, we just had a family from Canada that said they're at 230 going out. Granted, they put their groceries at 1,000 and $200 going out, so it's 1,200 for a family of 4. I mean, if we divide that in half or in a fourth, right? So you go that's $300.
$300, yeah.
So, minus the 300 puts me at $350, and you're not paying off your 4,000. Something's wrong here. Like you're eating out too much.
Numbers don't math.
Yep. So what you need to do at that point is literally just, hey, you pay for your own food. I don't know if you don't like your parents' food or whatever it is, but if they're making dinner and you don't like it, then make something at home that you like for a heck of a lot cheaper, and do it because at 340 or $350 monthly, this thing is paid off in 10 months.
We've had this conversation on this show many, many times.
Yep.
What's a ham sandwich cost to make it?
Oh man, I say I'm currently. So we'll talk about my diet, right?
Yeah.
Tomorrow will be 100 days.
Yes.
I drank some beers now. I am down 87 pounds.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And we are buying the 1 pound package of thinly sliced lunch meat, and that cost me $5.50. And I get 6 slices. And so, anyway, so it basically boils down to like 60 cents a sandwich, and then you add bread, right? It's kind of what because I don't do the bread aspect, but 60 cents a serving, right? And you should, if you add bread to it, I like artisan bread. I'm not gonna lie about that, right? So it's $2.50 for a loaf of bread, but you can get Meyer brand for $1. But
if you want to be real bougie,
do artisan
with
what's up.
The artisan bread and a specialty cheese. Let's say you want baby Swiss or provolone.
Yeah.
And then the deli mustard, not the French's mustard.
No, French's is the only fucking way to go.
Mustard. And then mayonnaise or something,
Yep.
You might be at $1.75 a sandwich.
Ooh, that's way too high.
Probably.
I mean, honestly, yeah. It's like, because it's what, 10 sandwiches per loaf of bread. That's 23 cents. Let's say $2.30. Like it's 23 cents. So now I'm at 83 cents.
Even if
I'm
you're
doing
$4 on a mustard and $6 on cheese.
And you're doing, and now you're gonna eat the same thing for like 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
But like you are really at, fine, I'll give you $1.50.
Okay, I'll take $1.50.
Like you're trying to be bougie.
I'm trying to be really bougie.
Yeah, like you're trying to say you're really pushing my buttons on this one. And I'm gonna give it to you, but you're at like $1.50, okay, per sandwich, and you're eating it for lunch or dinner or whatever it is. And TikTok has a bunch of like dollar store meals and things like, but like I don't know what this person's eating. I don't know if they have health things and whatever, but like you're at $1.50, right?
You're under $11 a week.
Yes,
for lunch.
Yes. And dinner, you're, again, you're eating the same kind of a thing.
If you really want to throw in a bag of chips, another 30 cents, 40 cents.
No, nope,
Less
nope.
than
They're,
that?
they're $2 for $1 now.
Okay.
Remember back in our day when they used to be 4 for $1? Nope, they're $2 for $1
Okay.
now.
So another 50 cents.
Yep.
So now you're up to maybe $2.
Yep.
For that's $14 for 7 days.
Yeah.
For lunch.
Yeah.
How much would you spend going to, let's say, McDonald's for Big Mac meal?
Oh, dude, it's like $9 and something cents right now because my niece only gets fucking Big Macs, and I fucking double cheese or McDoubles, right? Because they're
Cheaper.
$2.50, and then you get the second one for $1, and that's what I buy, or I used to, right? But so to tell you people like how this works, right? I'm going through this, and I've saved so much fucking money because I'm eating healthy is not fucking expensive, right? Eating fat is fucking expensive. Let me let you know. The buffet cost me $17 or $15 or $13 for Taco Tuesdays at fucking Tamales Mary. Shout out to them. Hopefully you fucking sponsor us. Let's go. But
eating healthy can be expensive. If you're going to the store and buying all of the healthy shit, that's expensive.
Okay, so right, my mornings I get the choice. I either eat 1 or 2 eggs, right? If I eat 1 egg, I put 2 ounces of meat, which is 3 slices of ham in there. And then I do put A1 on mine because I like A1 on my omelets.
Literally on everything.
Yeah. So a bottle costs me, but like I'm putting A1 on that, or I'll just be like, I don't want it. Like I'll do 2 eggs, which is 4 ounces of protein. Okay. So 1 carton of eggs currently now is $1, and you get 12 eggs, right?
So it's 6 meals.
Right. And so let's say it's $1.20, so that's 10 cents per meal, right? And that's my breakfast. Okay, my lunch, so I get a snack, which is 2 ounces of protein. So sometimes I don't have a snack, but let's say I have a snack. Okay, so now I have the choice of, I usually do like 3 pieces of lunch meat, or maybe it's 6, I don't remember. So 6, and then I get more. But so I eat my lunch meat, my 2 ounces of protein, and I can have a thing of, I usually, right now I'm on a kiwi kick, so I cut a kiwi. A 12 pack of kiwi cost me $4.50, or no, maybe it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah, 12 kiwis, I think. And it's like $4, right? Or Meyer has, we'll get raspberries or blackberries because they're usually 2 for $1 kind of thing, and I can have that. My meals are costing me like nothing currently. But so take a chicken breast. I get half the chicken breast for lunch. Thank you. And I can have the other half of the chicken breast for dinner, or I can cut it into my 2 snacks in between but so but that's if you're eating, and that's what quote unquote a normal meal is. Most people don't understand that's a normal person's meal. I didn't realize it, right? Here, I'm going out to fucking Applebee's is like my saving grace right now. Because I get the Southwest chicken, and I get broccoli on the side, or I get a salad. And so then I eat half the chicken breast, I take the other half home, I get an extra side of pico or Southwest ranch, and then I have 2 fucking meals. And yes, that cost me $12, but that's $6 a meal, right? And I have 2 meals for $12, and I went out to eat, right? But like, so cut down on that portion aspect of things, and I'm doing just fine. Like on a normal day, dude, I'm eating $6, right? Like I'm not going, when my friends want to go out to eat, I'm like, hey, can we do Applebee's? Can we do, Logan's has a teriyaki chicken that's like $11 and comes with 2 sides. So then I take half, and I take 1 side home, so I either choose, do I want my salad or my broccoli now, or I eat the other, and I eat normally I eat my salad because I can, broccoli's better warmed up for some reason. Like leftover salad just kind of, because
it's not good.
Right. It's just kind of weird. It's already,
it's
once
flimsy and stuff.
Yeah, you get it.
I do.
So
it's like limp.
Yeah, I eat my salad, and then I eat half my chicken, and then I take the other half and I bring that home, and I eat my broccoli with it, and I have dinner, and that cost me $6. Like, and so if I had it at home, I just bought. I love Tuscan broccoli. If you guys can ever find it, it's a microwavable bag. Just got great flavor. It's like $2 for the bag. you warm it up, and there's multiple servings in there. And chop, take a chicken breast, and chicken breast, it's $1. It's $1.49, or let's say $2 a pound. I, a chicken breast usually weighs 8 ounces, so I cut it in half. That's 4 ounces. That's what I'm allowed to eat, type of a thing. And so you're doing plenty fine. Just eat chicken and make chicken different. I'm finding chicken's my new ramen.
Yeah.
Okay. I want people to understand this. Like, I'm putting teriyaki on it. I'm putting soy and a bunch of seasonings. I'm covering it in bruschetta, which is a little expensive because my tomatoes and my garlic, but it's actually not that bad. But like the balsamic is what fucking was getting it. So I'm doing a caprese chicken because I'll put mozzarella, which means I get, because it's a protein, I get a little less. But yeah, so you can eat at home, pretty fancy. I'll tell you what, my wife deserves the world, because like last night I had a fucking steak. So I had steak. I had she made a salad. So I got a cup of salad, like literally a cup, and then I had strawberries. I had like 5 or 6 strawberries because I got like a quarter cup of fruit. Or it's funny because like now we say we cheat or whatever, and it's like, man, the ones hang. If I cheat one extra piece of fucking strawberry, it's not like I'm doing bad. Strawberries are expensive here in this area right now. So, but find the fruit that's on sale. Like, get a melon, get something, like, do that. It's, if you eat the actual healthy way, like not overindulge, right? I didn't realize like how cheap it actually is, because dude, I mean, think about it. When I made burgers at home, right? It's either a single burger and I'm having 2 of them, or I'm, if I get the frozen ones, I'm double pattying that motherfucker, and then I'm eating, 2. Like, I was eating calories upon calories, but really, I cannot tell you people how cheap it actually is to eat. I didn't know it, right? To eat what a normal person should eat on a daily basis. I didn't know what normal was, and this past 100 days has changed my life in the sense of going, wow, is this what a fucking normal thing? They say, because if you ever read the side of a box, it's like based on a 2,000 calorie diet type thing. If you actually measured it out and did the right things, like you would, 'cause my bowl of cereal. I mean, come on, everybody likes fucking cereal.
Yeah.
It was a fucking bowl. Okay.
Yeah.
Like my bowl.
2 cups.
No, 4.
Okay.
Right. Like, dude, I had a big bowl. Like, it would, if I actually put cups in it, it'd be 4 cups like into this fucking bowl. But just eat 1 cup. And if you want more, eat it 2.5 hours later for another cup of cereal, right? Like, kind of a thing. That's what I'm learning, is eat 6 times a day versus eating 3 times a day, right? And eat smaller portions, and you can eat we still haven't learned how to make chili in fucking small amounts. So
no, I can't figure that out either.
yeah, but so yes, I'm eating chili all day long, but I love chili, and I know that I can have it again in 2.5 hours, right?
Well, it's funny because like I'll make toast.
Oh,
you
I
like that? Don't
Yeah,
you?
I do. That's nice.
I knew you would.
Yeah.
I'll make toast, and I've always been a 4 toast guy. Because you got the 4 toast maker, you just throw 4 fucking pieces.
Yeah.
I can't eat 4 fucking pieces of toast right now.
Right. I say,
like, I'll get through 2, and I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I can't. But I'm still trying to eat like a fat guy right now.
Right.
And it's not working for me.
I tell you, like, it was my proudest day. I went for a while. It was I knew I was only allowed half of my chicken breast, and it was like, God, like, yeah, you'd have like maybe this hunger, but you're like, all right, I can eat something. And so I spoil myself with because beef jerky, and they're expensive. But,
oh yeah.
I'll stop at the gas station, and they make the 2 ounce, and they make a 1 ounce, like, little thin one. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. If you don't know what an ounce is, go look at it, and you'll be like, oh, so 1 ounce is a 2 ounce. It's the big pack. So I get a 2 ounce thing, and that'd be my snack. And I'm like, oh, I fucking feel like a man. Like, just made me feel good.
Yeah.
It was expensive, but I realized, like, holy shit, like, normally if I go buy a bag of beef jerky, it didn't matter the size, I'm eating the whole bag of beef jerky.
Yeah.
Right. I can buy the 1 pound package, which is gone. Now, if you think about it, a 1 pound package for me, 4 ounces lasts me for 1 meal, 2 ounces. So I'm at 6 ounces was a snack. Another 4 ounces puts me at 10 ounces. I still have 6 ounces to go. I get a snack for another 2 ounces of that. And then my dinner, I technically have another 4 ounces. So that's the whole entire bag. 1 bag is enough protein for me for the entire day. Right. So that $16 that I spent on this a 1 pound bag of beef jerky is my meals for the entire day. Now, that's not horrible. It's still expensive, but like it's not horrible to spend that an entire day,
Yeah.
right? $16 a pound is horrible. I've learned I'd rather eat fucking chicken breasts than eat beef.
Yeah.
So, but so that to this person, sorry, back onto you, is I really at $350 extra start eating at home a little bit. And if go to the unhealthy and eat ramen, go to healthy, but start eating the portion. Like eggs are really, really fucking cheap. Okay. Lunch meat is really, really inexpensive. I wouldn't say cheap, but it's inexpensive. So take your meat, put it into your eggs and have that ramen for lunch or dinner type thing. I'm not against ramen. That's just noodle. It's just a pasta, right? A can of, so if you get ramen and spaghetti sauce or ramen and Alfredo, depending on what you like that jar will last you longer than you ever needed to, kind of a thing.
When we were really broke, it was noodles, corn, and tuna.
Oh God, yes, 100.
Because you got everything you needed.
Yep.
You got a little bit of vegetable, even though corn's not really a starch, not a vegetable. So you got a couple starches.
Yep.
And then you got your protein with your tuna.
Yep.
And you throw a little bit of cheese in there, you get a little bit of dairy, and that's dinner, because you have no fucking money, and that just cost you like $1.25.
Oh yeah, dude. I say it was a bag of egg noodles, which back in the day was
egg noodles,
89 cents, kind of a thing. A can of gravy was $1, which is still is like $1.25. And then we would do ground beef instead of like steak or whatever, right? And now let's say you go get a pound, so you make the entire bag of pound of noodle, or maybe it's a 2 pound, it's a 1 pound bag, right? Because egg noodles are pretty light. A can of gravy and a 1 pound of ground beef, which is $3, 4 maybe on the high end. And you now have meals for an entire week off of that, and you've spent $6, right? And yes, you're warming up the same type of a thing, but I would say keep your gravy on the side and add it when you want. When you warm it up, that's a pro fat guy tip. Just because so that way it doesn't dry it out. My wife's the kind of person that puts a bowl of water in there to make it moist too. And fuck that. But
Dawn made tacos last week.
Yep.
And she cooked an entire pound of meat for me.
Yeah. And you're like, what the fuck?
And after a couple days, I'm like, you're gonna have to freeze some of this. I can't eat this.
Yeah.
There's just too much fucking meat.
Yep.
And she's like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I've had 4 fucking tacos and I can't. I'm 3 fucking days in now.
Oh, see, I say 1 pound. See, and I've learned I want more meat on my tacos. So
see, and I put a lot of vegetables on my tacos.
You really?
I love vegetables.
No.
So tomatoes and cheese and onions and black olives and
Really?
I'll do 3 types of onion.
Oh wow, like a red onion, a yellow
red onion, a
white?
yellow onion, and green onion.
Oh, okay.
And then I'll throw on green pepper and maybe we have some other peppers.
You're
So I'll throw those
psycho.
on. I love it.
No green pepper. No green pepper.
Yeah.
I don't ever want cooked green pepper.
I love it.
I'm fine with you wanting it. Like we were talking about it in one of the episodes. Like you're crazy on
The chili.
Yeah, the chili. Like I say, just I can't do it, bud.
Yeah.
But so to this person, right? Your expenses don't outweigh what you make. You should be paying this thing off as quick as possible. Take the one credit card and do that. I need to learn how to send this stuff to you.
There's a little share button.
Yep, I know, but I just keep backing out first. So
let's take one more and then kind of finish it up for the night. So should I pay for everything with a credit card?
Fuck yes, no.
So long as I pay my bill in full every month, is there any downside to paying for literally everything with a credit card? It seems logical to me with points and cash back, fraud protection, rewards, boosting credit score, etc. Or is there a reason not to do this? Your thoughts?
We here at Bucks and Brews would like to welcome you to the better side of thinking. This is what David has an expertise in. This literally is exactly what you should be doing.
Correct.
Unless, here's my only caveat,
Yes.
right? Unless the company charges you extra. Right now, DTE or consumers, which is an energy or gas or
It's consumers that's doing it.
Yep, they're charging $3 to pay with a card, which David, I'm going to tell you, I've been doing it. I've been paying the $3.
I'm going to tell you right now how to avoid the $3.
Okay.
Because I'm the man.
Yeah. So, but if it charges you money, don't use your credit card.
Correct.
If it's a normal thing that you're going to pay and you're paying very clear on this. If I'm paying it off, and you said yes, that's okay. Now the only time it's going to happen is when you get into a car accident, you can't pay your bills, you can't do whatever. Like you go on vacation, an illness happens, and you forget to pay the bill. But let's say on a generic, normal, everyday fucking life, everything's the same. You are completely fine with using a credit card. Go do it. Be smart. Be the Davids of this world.
So I have paid consumers for the last 3 months with my credit card.
Yeah.
No added fee.
Why?
If you do you have a PayPal account?
I do.
Set your credit card up on your PayPal account.
Okay.
Pay your bill as they have an area to pay bills.
Okay.
Set up your consumer's bill on PayPal. You can use your credit card to pay for it, and they don't charge you any credit card fees to do that.
Okay. So I won't be doing that.
It's
Because
too much work for you.
Yeah, it's an extra step, right? I literally just log into the website and pay my bill. I don't have auto pay set up for anything. I don't do any type of that. And I found that $3 isn't worth my time to write checks. But
I pay it every month that way.
yep. And to me, it's, sure. Honestly, it sounds really stupid now that I say it. I'm paying 25 extra bucks or whatever because I'm paying so many fucking bills.
Mhm.
But I just get the job done, fucking go through it. And now that I say it out loud, I might have my wife help me set up some payments.
If you want, you can pay me $1 and I'll do it for you every month.
This might be a fucking thing. Let's say, but yeah, I'm paying. Let's say I'm paying it just because and I did get out of a couple of them because I can switch them from my business to my personal, and then my personal doesn't get charged. But then they started changing that, so I got out of it for a while. But
that's why I dropped T-Mobile, because they were going to start charging me to use my credit card.
oh really?
Yeah.
I'm going to I actually am going to try to call them and see if I can just pay a shit ton. Like I know what my because I budget, let's say roughly yearly, right? I want to know if I can just give them
a year's worth,
$7,000 for, and if I have to pay the one-time $3 fee, like just don't send me
now. I can just work it down.
Right now, I've saved so much money from not having to pay that. Right, so I'm going to call them and just see if I can just pay it ahead of time, or at that point, I will write one check, right, and just say, hey, this is for this account, this is for this account, this for this, this, and my flips, I'll have to pay the fee because I don't hold them for very long, or maybe I'll just have to suck it up and write a check for a little bit, because honestly, trying to get money back from them just never will fucking happen.
No,
so
it's a pain in the ass.
Actually, I still am owed a water bill, so I overpaid on that one, but yeah, so no, there's nothing wrong with it. Right. I mean, really, you're doing the right thing. It's credit card hacking at its finest. It is the number one best thing that sets us apart from Dave Ramsey, right?
Yeah, we do it all the time.
We are financially responsible people that are willing to do the next step to make money on their money, right? It's not going to make you a millionaire doing it. It's not going to make you a billionaire doing it, but you'll make extra money.
Absolutely.
Right? So, it's not, full honesty, David does it like fucking crazy. I do not. I don't do it. I was just talking to my mailman. My mailman's a bowler as well. And he's like, yeah, I use my miles and I paid $13 for my flight. And I was like, fuck, dude, like I should start doing it. Like I just can't find the right credit card to actually get. And we've done a credit card episode and still I just haven't gone and gotten a credit card to get me the right thing. So I will.
I don't know what trip we're going to take next year.
Yeah.
But I know we're going to take one because I have a free companion ticket for Delta. So
yeah,
Dawn and I are going somewhere.
Yeah, so you might as well.
And I might get on Tug and look for a cheap timeshare.
Yep. Let's say timeshare user group.
Absolutely.
So, we loved having them on. That was an amazing episode.
We got to have him on again. He's great.
So it sounds like next week we're doing year-end review. I hope you guys learned a little bit from us today. I like doing these Reddit things. Granted, I wish we could talk to these people live.
Agreed.
But we do go in and we tag everybody and say, hey, we talked about your stuff and all that. So as always, guys, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your family. If you have something you want to talk about, let us know. Like, if you have debts that you need to get out of, we'll give you advice. You don't have to be announced. You don't have to have your name. We will do anything. If you want to come on personally and talk about it, we love doing those episodes as well.
We absolutely do. We love to have guests. We've been very guest free lately.
Yeah.
We haven't even had the eye candy on lately.
Yeah.
but
He's breaking my heart.
a little bit.
Shout out to Bud Light. Thanks for making my night that much better.
I loved my Mountain Dew, and we will join you guys next week for Year in Review. So thanks for joining.
You've dialed in.
To Bucks and Brews, you might hear something
You can use.
like tips on your cash or tips on the suds.
You're gonna want to
The
use.
smarts of these
Because
stuff.
they know the brews.
And they know the Bucks, and they know they can't help the stubborn fucks.
So listen up, cause shit's not funny.
And save yourself some
Beer money, bucks,
and brews.
Bucks and
Bucks
brews.
and brews.
brews.
Bucks and brews.